This is companion video number 27 for iFeelagrams for iPad, iOS8, the mail reading page. The mail reading page is accessed when you double-tap a message in a mailbox list. It has 8 controls across the top, just below the status bar. A back button to go back to the list of messages, previous message, next message, mark message, move a message, archive or delete a message, reply, and compose. If you drag down the left-hand side of the screen, you will find the from, to, subject, date, and message fields. There is also a hide button just below the compose button. However, once you flick past the compose button, if you're exploring that way, you will notice that the flicking order is quite different from the dragging order. So, let's see how it works on the iPad. So let's start by opening the Mail app.
Mail. 63 unread emails. Double tap to open. Mail. Mailboxes. Heading.
And we're at the Mailboxes heading, which is just below the status bar.
No SIM. Status bar item. Mailboxes. Heading.
I'm moving my finger down, and then we have...
All inboxes. 62 unread messages.
We crossed the border and got to all inboxes. So let's pick that, keeping in mind that wherever we land will be where we last were in our mail program.
Diane. Selected. All inboxes. Vashon Jones.
Okay, so it went to the last message I had selected. I'll just quickly drag down from the top and find this selected message.
Eddie. Selected. Vashon Jones.
There it is. So I'm going to double tap this to open it.
Hello Mac Master Series subscribers.
Now it very dutifully starts to read the message, but let's explore this screen. We'll start at the top.
No SIM. All inboxes. 62. Back button.
There we are. We could go back to the list if we wanted, but let's move to the right. You can either drag or flick at this point.
Previous message. Button. Next message. Button.
Pressing either of those will cause the previous or next message to fill the screen.
Mark message. Button.
You can mark a message to do things with it later when you go into the edit mode.
Move. Button.
You can move a message to a different folder.
Archive. Button.
Now this may say archive or delete, depending on the kind of mailbox configuration you have.
Reply. Button.
That's obvious.
Compose. Button. Double tap and hold to bring up drafts.
And finally, at the far right, the Compose button, which even helpfully informs you that you can double tap it to bring up drafts that you have been working on. So we've gone all the way to the right across the top. Let's now start at the top left-hand corner again and go down.
All inboxes. 62. Back button.
Been there before. Now what do we have going straight down the left-hand side? Dragging. A border.
From.
Who it's from.
To.
Who it's to.
Master class for November has been posted.
That is the message subject.
November 25th, 2014 at 3:05 p.m.
And the date and time. If we go down again, we'll go into the message body.
Message. Hello Mac Master Series subscribers.
See, that's the message it started to read before when we first opened the message. Okay, that's a description of how things look on the screen. Now, we could start at the top left.
All inboxes.
And
60,
flick through this.
Next, mark, move, archive, reply, compose.
All that is exactly the same whether you flick across the top or whether you drag across the top. But after the compose button, what you do when you flick looks actually quite different from what you discover when you drag. Let's see what happens. We're on the compose button now. I'm going to flick right.
From.
So that's okay. That takes you to the From field, which is the first field at the top of the list going down the left-hand side.
Vashon Jones. Address. Button.
And that's okay. It took you to the information right beside the From field. I'm going to put my finger over at the left-hand side and see.
All in. From.
I move my finger to the right.
Vashon Jones.
That's right. It says who it's from. If I flick now,
Master class for November has been posted.
now what did it do?
All inbox. From. To.
It skipped the to field when I flicked.
Master class for November has been posted.
See, because if I move down, I have the subject below the to field.
Hide. Button.
Then there's this hide button, which if you drag, you actually find is below the compose button. I'm going to slide my finger up the right-hand side.
Hide. Reply. Compose. Hide.
See, it's
button.
just below the compose button. Now I'm on the hide button. If I flick right from it,
To.
I get to the to field, which if I look on the left-hand side,
November 25th. Master. To.
is above the message subject.
Tom Decker. Address. Button.
Okay, so all of this is a little bit difficult to demonstrate properly. And you might not ever know that there was a difference. If you constantly flick through things, you would get to them in the order that they are presented. If you dragged around the screen to do things, you would get used to that order. But it's a combination of flicking and dragging that truly helps you to become a more proficient user. So it's important that you employ both techniques to get the total concept of what's going on the screen and how best to interact with it in order to accomplish the task at hand. So take some time to open an email message and try a whole lot of flicking and dragging through everything that's on the screen until you understand what the differences are. And we hope you'll join us in video number 28, where we put it all together to show you how to compose an email message.